on my Sri Lankan politics show behind the scenes. Before start the show, I want to hit the like button and subscribe to my show. Now, as you all know, Sri Lanka is now becoming a country that's becoming behind itself. Sri Lanka, today this show is about how well Sri Lanka has done in the pandemic compared to many countries in Asia. I mean, that's something I'm going to talk about. Before start the show, hit the like button and subscribe to my show. Let's get started. When it comes to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Sri Lanka is a country that has managed us to, not to get too much into deep water. That is reality. If you compare countries like the United States with their million plus deaths, millions plus cases, Sri Lanka has barely met that match. And that's fairly impressive. Our neighbors, India, well, they have been Indians. Everything they do is in large quantities. Now the credit must go to this. Credit must go for the Sri Lankan people who follows rules, wears masks, follow procedure, follow social distancing. They must be given the credit for their success. And if it weren't for their line of work, I can assure you, this country would be in a hell of a lot more trouble in this pandemic than anything else. That's reality. Another thing I want to say is the government has done a brilliant job of controlling the pandemic in Sri Lanka at the moment, considering where it could have been. Despite the many flaws the current government has, the government has nailed the pandemic response. And that's something that's super crucial in a time like this, as many countries are failing. Countries like in Brazil, things are absolutely terrible in Brazil, where the Brazilian president simply doesn't admit there is COVID-19 existing. In here, they do admit, and that's fairly good to see. And it's good to know that Sri Lanka has opened the country for tourism once again, which is very important to know, as tourism is the main source of income for Sri Lanka. But I do hope that the tourists who comes in will follow similar guidance and social standards, the distancing and etc. So the pandemic is under control, but it's great to know. Now in Myanmar, things are turning sour. Things are extremely bad in Myanmar, gentlemen. In Myanmar, it's so bad. Let me explain to you. In Myanmar, you see, in Myanmar right now, of course, as you all know, in Myanmar, there is a civil war in line in Myanmar. There's a goddamn civil war. With the military talking, very few people killed. Let me tell you something. Myanmar has deaths. People are dying to stop the military power grab in Myanmar. And that is the reality. And the military must give up their power in Myanmar, because the world does not need another military dictatorship. We know the reason why that's the case. We know that significantly well. So I do hope that in Myanmar, it will be ending. So on that note, I'm going to end the show. Hit the like button and subscribe to my show. Thank you very much.